Gravity Doesn't Exist by Mr. B, the guy with the lisp. Hopefully you can get past that. They just recently found gravity waves out in space, like a million light years away. Bullshit. They can't find them here. So how can you find them a million light years away? They don't exist. Gravity doesn't exist. It's a theory that was postulated by Newton. The ancient Greeks thought objects fell to the ground because that was their natural state. And they were correct. Newton, however, was trying to explain why objects fell to the ground. And then he came up with some mathematical formula, which was a derivative, I believe, from one of Kepler's formulas. And it's a complete failure. Why? Because he had no device, no machine, no apparatus that could detect gravity nor measure it. In other words, he just completely pulled it out of his ass. Gravity doesn't exist. There are things that we know and things we don't know. And one thing's for sure that we know is that gravity has never been detected nor measured because it doesn't exist. There is a force that that we use, that we use every frickin' day. And that force is called electricity. We have applications for it. We can measure it, detect it, use it, apply it, and manipulate it every single day. Every single day, we can turn it into a blender. We can turn electricity to run a vacuum, to start a car. It's all around us. We can use it. We can actually measure it. We can actually detect it, unlike this made-up crap called gravity. And the reason why we can't detect it or measure it or use it is because it doesn't exist. It really is that fucking simple. So there's things we know, like a compass. How does a compass work? It has a magnet. What's a magnet? Well, it's an electrified object. How do we know that? Because that's how you create magnets. You run a very high current through an object that electrifies the object. And that's how you get a magnet. Once you create a magnet, that magnet now has an electric field. And it has polarity, which means it has two poles. You could say it's bipolar. For the sake of ease, the nomenclature is basically positive, negative, or north and south. Poles. Because an electrified object has poles. It has polarity. So a compass works because it's a magnet. And its one polarity is attracted to the other polarity of the Earth. The magnet, too bad they don't have a 3D magnet. They might, but basically, I mean, magnets are 3D, but I'm talking about a compass. You know, if you had a 3D compass that could like stand up vertically as well as horizontally, you might see it actually point to the sky. So the compass points in two directions, north and south, because the magnet is drawn to the opposite polarity. Or, arguably, it might be even drawn to the same polarity. But anyways, that's why a compass works. Because the Earth is itself an electrified object that has polarities, north and south poles. There's no imaginary lodestones sitting in a block of ice in the Arctic Circle. You can even go on, that was so stupid, they had to change that. You can go on Wikipedia and they're like, oh yeah, the compass works because of the magnetic field of the Earth. Well, the word magnetic is sort of superfluous. Because what's magnetism? It's just the properties of electricity. How do you create a magnet? By inducing electricity. What does a magnet have? It has the properties of electricity. That's why a compass works. So, the real question is, why do objects fall to the ground? And the answer is because those objects are located within the electric field of the Earth. If you go past the electric field of the Earth, objects don't fall to the Earth. It's really that simple. The moon doesn't fall to the Earth. The sun doesn't fall to the Earth. You know, the asteroids, most of them, don't fall to the Earth unless they enter Earth's electric field. So when objects enter Earth's electric field, they take on the properties of electricity and they go to ground. That is one of the properties of electricity, is it wants to go to rest. So they keep saying that it has a negative and positive charge. Well, that's bullshit. Electricity is a force. It doesn't have a charge. It's a force. It's the force of the universe. It is the only force in the universe. Because even physical force, like if I punch a wall, that's created by the energy, the electricity that my body is creating. If I don't have any energy, I sit on my ass and do nothing. So even physical force requires electricity. It requires energy in the form, well, it's a different form of electricity is what it is. But anyways, so if you take a radio and you hook up every wire to the radio except for the ground, well, your radio is not going to turn on. I don't care if you hook up the power wire and all the speaker wires and the amplifier wire and the antenna wire, and I don't care. If you don't hook up the ground, your radio is not going to work. Because electricity needs a ground in order to flow, in order to work. Electricity must be grounded, or it wants to go to ground. It wants to go to rest. All electricity in the universe actually wants to go to rest once it's created. I'm not going to try to explain that. You can just keep it in the back of your mind if you want to. But basically, when you jump in the air, you're going to fall right back down to the earth. You're going to fall right back down the ground. Because all objects within the electric field of the earth are going to take on, all objects that can take on the properties of electricity are going to go to ground. They're going to go to rest. And that's why objects fall to the ground. There are some objects like lighter than air, LTA objects, that can arguably surpass or overcome. But even then, all the air and atmosphere stays within the electric field of the earth. That's why objects fall to the ground, not because of some made-up bullshit imaginary force called gravity. No such thing as gravity. Everything based on gravity is also crap. Einstein, crap. Black holes, crap. Space-time continuum, crap. Wormholes, crap. All that shit's crap. It's all crap. A lot of science today is crap. It's all theories based on theories based on theories that have never been proven. It's all just garbage. So, there's nothing we know about gravity because it doesn't exist. Can't detect it. Can't measure it. Can't do jack with it because it doesn't exist. It's like Santa Claus. It's never been proven to exist. And yet, scientists can still continue to tell you that Santa Claus has a red suit and boots and reindeer and a sleigh and comes down the chimney. All shit that can't be proven, just like Santa Claus. And that's what gravity is. And unfortunately, that's what most of science is. They haven't proven Santa Claus, but they keep adding crap to it. It's a lot easier to think of electricity because it is a force that has applications. Once again, it runs your blender. It starts your car. It runs your vacuum. We can measure it. We can detect it. We can do whatever we want with it because it's an actual force that actually exists.